They told you this man was untouchable, that his name alone could silence rooms and freeze investigations. But what if everything you believed about power was a lie? And what if the fall of General Shadrack Sibiya was never an accident, but a ticking time bomb waiting for one brave voice to light the fuse? For years, General Shadrack Sibiya walked with the confidence of a man who believed the rules were written for everyone else, a man whose authority stretched beyond uniforms, beyond titles, and deep into the machinery of influence that protects its own. People whispered about him in lowered voices, sometimes with fear, sometimes with admiration, but always with caution. Have you ever noticed how conversations suddenly change when a powerful name enters the room? Those whispers spoke of deals made in shadows, of wealth that didn't match official salaries, of a public image polished so clean it felt rehearsed. Yet nothing ever happened. No arrests. No charges. No accountability. And over time, silence itself became proof to many that General Shadrack Sibiya was simply too powerful to touch. Do you think power creates confidence, or does it just hide wrongdoing better? Then Cat Matlala stepped forward, and everything changed. She didn't tease the public with mystery. She didn't hide behind half-truths. She spoke clearly, directly, and backed her words with documents, timelines, digital trails, and details that were impossible to dismiss. The moment she named General Shadrack Sibiya, the atmosphere shifted. People who once laughed off rumors stopped scrolling and started reading. What exactly had been hidden all this time, and why was this woman willing to risk her safety, her reputation, and her future to expose it? Ask yourself honestly, would you have done the same? As Cat Matlala's expose spread, it felt like watching a fortress develop cracks. Each revelation chipped away at the image of control General Shadrack Sibiya had carefully built over decades. Social media did what sealed files and closed-door meetings never could. It forced the allegations into the open, where power could no longer control the narrative. Then came the morning that turned online outrage into real-world consequences. Unmarked vehicles rolled quietly into General Shadrack Sibiya's neighborhood before sunrise. Neighbors sensed something was wrong, the kind of tension you feel before you even understand what's happening. Have you ever witnessed a moment where history quietly arrives at someone's front gate? Uniformed officers followed. Gates were forced open. Orders were given without hesitation. The residence that once symbolized authority and command became the center of a criminal investigation. The man long viewed as untouchable was suddenly facing the very system he was believed to influence. Inside the house, officers found more than anyone expected. Documents stacked where ordinary paperwork shouldn't be. Electronic devices locked and hidden. Safes suggesting secrets that were never meant to be discovered. Every item removed felt like another layer of protection being stripped away. Cameras captured officers carrying boxes of evidence into waiting vehicles. Those images spread faster than any official statement ever could. Within hours, General Shadrack Sibiya's name was no longer associated with authority alone, but with scandal. Do you believe images speak louder than truth, or do they become truth in the public eye? The nation reacted instantly. Some celebrated, calling it justice finally catching up to power. Others cried foul, insisting this was a political setup, a targeted takedown of a man with enemies in high places. Which side would you have stood on if you were watching this unfold live? Cat Matlala became a lightning rod. To some, she was fearless, a woman who dared to challenge power when others stayed silent. To others, she was reckless, accused of pushing a personal agenda. But, regardless of opinion, her actions produced undeniable results. A raid happened. Evidence was seized. Silence was broken. Investigators soon hinted that this was only the beginning. Allegations of financial misconduct, abuse of authority, and corruption gained new weight. And then came the most unsettling suggestion of all, that General Shadrack Sibiya might not have been operating alone. Encrypted communications, reportedly recovered from seized devices, pointed to conversations involving other influential figures. Suddenly, this wasn't just about one man's fall. It was about a possible network, a system built to protect itself from accountability. Do you think corruption survives because it's clever, or because it's connected. Statements from Sibiya's camp followed quickly. He was painted as a victim, targeted by a smear campaign designed to destroy his legacy. Supporters urged patience, reminding the public that allegations are not convictions. But could words really undo what people had already seen? Public perception had already shifted. Once doubt enters the story of power, it never fully leaves. Even if cleared, General Shadrack Sibiya's image would never return to what it once was. Have you noticed how power fades the moment credibility cracks? Cat Matlala did not retreat. She appeared in interviews, calm but resolute. She spoke about fear, about years of watching questionable actions unfold, about finally deciding that silence was more dangerous than speaking out. Her stance transformed her from a source into a symbol. But the story refused to be simple. Serious questions emerged about due process, about trial by media, about whether public outrage now moves faster than justice itself. In the digital age, narratives form long before verdicts. Is that progress, or is it dangerous? As days turned into weeks, lawyers prepared defenses and investigators followed financial trails deeper. Each development added pressure, not only on General Shadrack Sibiya, but on institutions connected to him. The fallout was spreading wider than anyone expected. Behind closed doors, alliances weakened. Phones went unanswered. Familiar faces disappeared. Power that once attracted loyalty now repelled it. Isn't it revealing how quickly influence evaporates when accountability appears? The raid became more than an event. It became a symbol of old power colliding with new transparency. A reminder that no title is stronger than sustained exposure. For the public, the story triggered anger, debate, and reflection. How many other powerful figures remain shielded by silence? How many truths are still buried because no one has dared to speak? For General Shadrack Sibiya, life split into before and after that morning. For Cat Matlala, courage came with permanent consequences. And for everyone watching, the saga became proof that even the most guarded power structures can crack. The investigation continues. Outcomes remain uncertain. Conviction, clearance, or an even bigger twist could still emerge. What do you think the final chapter of this story will look like? One thing is already undeniable. The expose and the raid it triggered changed the rules. They showed that silence is no longer safe, that influence has limits, and that truth, once released, cannot be controlled. And as this story continues to unfold in real time, the real question isn't just what happens next to General Shadrack Sibiya. The real question is this: if you knew the truth about someone powerful, would you speak, or would you stay silent and hope someone else does?